When you have a number of related tasks that you want to save together, you can save them into a report folder, and this is something that you can return to later to do further work. First of all, report folders are useful if you want to save all your work for a particular project within one area. Or it may be that you're called away to a meeting and you've been working on various tables and you want to put all those tables quickly into a report folder for later use. Unless you have changed your defaults in Settings Global, when you exit Asteroid, it will automatically prompt you to save your tasks into a report folder. When you say yes at that point, it will just throw everything unnamed into a report folder, and this is the quickest and easiest way to create a report folder. However, if you want to be specific about the names of the different tasks, or you want to save some of them and not all of them, it's best to do it within the Asteroid window while you're working here. First of all, you need to go to Show Report Folder, which is in your main toolbar. I want to create a new report folder. I'll just call this one Training. And you can see that name is reflected at the top of the report folder window. I now need to decide which of these tasks I want to add into the report folder. We'll start with this one. Here we have the Add Task button. It's going to add the task that you're currently viewing. Just give it an appropriate name. You have a View As option. So because we're viewing this in grid, it comes up as being grid here. This means that when you open up your report folder later and you run this particular task, it will display it in grid view. If you only want this particular task to open within a particular database, you can give the database name here. If you have a table that you're adding in and it has a number of different layers, you can specify the layer here. We can go to grid and check that we have the template included. Go to Browse. If you have other templates you can apply, then choose them there. I'll come back to the Save As later. We don't need to go to Chart because this isn't a chart, so it won't apply. Click on OK, and it will add that task as the first report folder item. We'll go to Table 4, as this is where I have nested items. So I'll add this task in and call it Nested. Again, we're saving it as a grid. And again, we're just checking that it has no particular template applied on this one. Then finally, we'll add in a chart. This time, it's going to open as a chart, and we can go to the Chart tab. We don't have a template applied on this one, and it's just listing the details that it has for this particular chart. And we'll say OK. Finally, when we add this last chart, and you go to the Chart tab, you'll see that we have the chart template applied here. Having added these tasks into the report folder, I can now save the report folder. By default, it will save with the extension ARM, and it includes the original name that you gave it. It also goes straight to the report folder. This is the default area. Obviously, if you wish to place it somewhere else, you can. We'll save that report folder. We can check the details that we have for each of the tasks by right-mouse clicking on the task and going to Task Properties. If you needed to rename it or add a template, you can do so here. Also, if you wish to save your tasks in other formats, you can do that here too. By saving this particular task, which is a grid, it'll save it automatically as an XLS spreadsheet. I'll call this Vertical Presents again, and you can see that when we go to Browse, it saves it as XLS, and again it puts it in a default area. And we can do the same with a chart. Again, Task Properties, we can go into the chart area and Save As. We can browse, and again a default area, and we'll give it a file name. When you create a chart, it is possible to select specific columns or rows to create that chart. If you've created a chart in this way, the cells used will appear within this selection area. Say OK, and it's changed that chart. Having made those changes, we now need to save the report folder. To test out the report folder, I'm going to close all of these tasks. Notice, by the way, that we now have tabulation report task 3, 2, and 1. And I'll close the report folder. So we still have the database open, but we want to test out that the report folder saving has worked. This time if we go to Open, We can choose training, which is the one that was just created, and open, and we have all of the tasks. You have the option of either run selected or run all. Run selected will run whichever task you're clicked on. If you choose run all, it'll run all of them. We suggest that if you have quite a large number of tasks added into your report folder, particularly if they are large tasks, then not to do a run all. Simply select the items that you want and choose run selected. And we recommend up to around 30 would be the maximum. However, if you do have a large number of report tasks that you want to run, you can also choose to run in background output. This won't display each of the tasks here, it will save it in the background as CSV files. I'm going to select run all for this because they're 4 fairly small tasks. It runs through the progress bar for each task, and we have report task 1 to 4 displayed.